One of your first jobs in college coaching at Notre Dame as a graduate assistant, that's where you first met Urban Meyer.
Yes.
He was the wide receivers coach. Saw a quote from him that said, "I was ready to fight when I met him." Why would he say that about you? You're such a sweet guy.
Yeah, well, you know, I think I've been known to be pretty opinionated. I'll be honest, I think Urban's pretty opinionated.
I was going to say, that's two strong personalities.
And you get those personalities working together on opinions of what we should or shouldn't do. I think sometimes, you know, back then he was the receiver coach at Notre Dame. I came along, Kevin Rogers was quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, and I had been Kevin Rogers' grad assistant at Syracuse. He brought me with him to Notre Dame. So I'm like, hey, I think we should do this, you know, with Kevin, because I had a great relationship. And Urban's just meeting me and saying, hey, who is this kid here that's telling me I should be doing it this way right now? But I think, you know, Urban and I have always had this, I think, a great professional relationship in the competitiveness. I go back to when we're at Notre Dame together and we'd go out for a run at lunch. It'd be a friendly jog for the first 2.5 miles. And we got about a half mile away back from the football office, you know, the pace might pick up. And whoever was 6 inches in front, the other guy would get 6 inches in front again. To the point where, like, the last 200 yards of our just nice afternoon workout before practice was a dead sprint through the middle of campus to be the first one back there as the competitive juices started flowing.
Couple of type A personalities will tell you that. I mean, you were with Urban at 3 different stops: Bowling Green, Utah, Florida. You won 2 BCS titles at Florida, Coach Tebow together. So you saw him at his best, but he also got burned out there and had to quit the profession, and has been very candid recently about what he went through. Did you know how bad it was getting for him? Do you remember being concerned for his physical well-being, his mental well-being?
You know, I think sometimes it's hard because it's a grind on everybody. You know, and I think at Florida, I think we'd put it into a position where winning was no longer fun. Winning was a relief. Losing was the greatest disaster that could come upon you. So there was never a joy aspect to it anymore at the end at Florida, you know, kind of before I left. And I know the next year, I think the pressure started to build. And you could see, I think, for him also, a lot of the guys that had been with him for quite a while had that opportunity as I had to move on. And, you know, when you kind of build something up and your security guys are there and you turn and they're not there, it gets difficult. But also, I do think, you know, there was a burnout. We were at Bowling Green for 2 years, had success, built the program up, and then left and went to Utah for 2 years, had unbelievable success. And as the program, you know, has been built into a solid foundation, started over again at Florida. And when you take over a program, the complete exhaustion that goes into those first 2 years. I don't know if it was just a burnout just from Florida. I think it even might have gone past that, in that we built a program but never got to take that enjoyment of building a program.
I was going to say, because now that you're a head coach, you got to have joy in there, right? I mean, it can't be a grind all the time.
It is, you know, and I, like, here at Mississippi State, I think we wanted to build this program off of a foundation for consistent success. You know, and nobody puts more pressure on themselves in this program than I put on me. I mean, I want to win. But we try to remember to make winning fun, and that we've built a program the right way up. And you're never going to win every game. But when you know, the exhaustion that went into building this program, the recruiting, getting facilities, raising the funds, changing the mindset of all the kids, where now within our program, more leadership comes from within than from the top down. When you take over a program, all the leadership's top down. That's the head coach is the leader of everything within the program. When the program gets established and you have a chance to be successful, leadership comes from within and is guided by the head coach, and that takes a lot of pressure off his head.